So welcome guys to my third vlog to Joe's the Cars, and today I'm going to tell you about my third car. I've tried to change something where you can hear me better. I believe now you can hear me better because I've been getting feedback that my voice is very low and you're unable to hear. So now I think you should be able to hear me better, and I'm also changing something which is a suspense for now. So the video will go on and you will be seeing some other things around. So you might also like that. All right. So hope you like it, and stay tuned for the third car. The name is Smoothie, and you'll get to know why we named it Smoothie. And enjoy the video.
Again. So starting from the last time, I was discussing about our second car, that was a Hyundai Santro LS petrol. It was one of the best cars we owned after the 800 Maruti 800. Of course, it was the second car only after that. But we tend to try to enjoy the car more, the experience inside. If the car is more smooth, or if the car is more sophisticated, so we enjoyed that time, and that developed our liking for Hyundai. So Hyundai, as you know, that was a new company at that time. Around it, they launched Santro in 2000, around 1998, I believe. But by 2000, it was a very famous family car. And after that, I think Hyundai gained a good liking. There was now earlier it was Fiat and Maruti, but now it became more like Maruti and Hyundai. So Hyundai, as you all know, that it's a Korean company, and they did come to India very late. Maruti came to India in, I think, 1985, 84, 85, and they came in almost after 15 years. But the liking they gained was much faster. So anyway, we were having a Hyundai Santro, and we were thinking, 8 years हो गए थे, क्या करें अभी. So one of my friends who was living in the same neighborhood, so he also liked the car. So I just casually said that we are planning to sell the car and see what happens, and what next car we can buy. So he was interested, and we somehow things worked out, and he told his parents. That time हम तो छोटे ही थे, तो obviously parents को ही final decision लेना है. So I was I was just telling him that if you're interested, let's go ahead, and things worked out, and finally he bought the car. अब कार तो चली गई हमारे हाथ से, अब क्या करें. अब the other thing was, because I sold it to my friend, he was very, very kind enough to let us keep the car till the time we get the new car. So now starts the journey of the third car. So it was also very interesting, because third car, now that I have started driving, I know I did a lot of research for the second car. I know much more about cars. जो AC वाला incident है, वो वो जो embarrassing moments है. So we all learned from that, and now we know that how the AC works, how the car has to be maintained, and all the things like that. So we learned from our mistakes, and now we thought, अब जो next car लेंगे, that should be one step above from Santro. So at that time, Hyundai had already launched a couple of cars. If you remember, Accent was a very famous car. Then Viva was there. Then a few other cars. I think Tucson, जो original version आया था Tucson, वो था. So बहुत सारे cars आ गए थे. But the one car that we liked, I don't know if you have guessed by now, and if you have seen my earlier video about the complete list of cars that I had. So if you have seen that, you would know. So it was the Hyundai Getz. Now Getz was one of the most famous cars universally. Like outside of India, it was really famous. In Europe, in Korea, US, everywhere else, Asian places or whatever, everywhere it was available. And Getz was a very, very well sort of product by Hyundai. But unfortunately, इंडिया में नहीं चला वो. इंडिया में I don't know what happened. इसका शेप पसंद नहीं आया या क्या हुआ, पता नहीं. So anyway, 2005, or I think 2004, 2005, they launched it. It was not a big success. Then finally, in 2008, I think half-heartedly, I know that they were thinking of discontinuing it, but फिर भी उन्होंने सोचा चलो एक try और मारते हैं. They started off with a facelift. And boy, that facelift really looked nice. So now with the facelift, there was another development which happened. That was diesel came into the picture. So पहले क्या था कि all cars were petrol and there was no diesel cars for private use, like जैसे bus, trucks, tempos, all the big vehicles or SUVs जो commercial use में use होते थे, they were using diesel. But diesel cars were really slow, they had a lot of lag, both problems, they used to pollute more. So all these things put together, people normally, private owners never used to buy diesel cars even if it is available. So I think one of the major examples at that time was Indica. So Indica was mostly used for commercial purposes. So anyway, 2008, 2007, yeah, 8, I think the new Verna was also launched, and it was having a perfect engine. So the diesel engine had a turbo. It was called the CRDA engine, and it was having a very good mileage. It was having very less pollution because it was obeying the whatever the standard at that time was. I think Bharat stage 2 or something or 3, and it was a perfect choice for any private owner who used to drive a lot. So anyway, Verna, that we did not have the budget for Verna, but of course we did have the budget for Getz. Now Getz में क्या हुआ? They launched the diesel engine, but the problem was that engine was so powerful for Verna itself that they first launched the Getz with the diesel engine, and then they rolled it back. Rolled it back in the sense, I think maximum it came for 1.5 years. They just were selling the product for 1.5 years, and then they stopped it. They discontinued the diesel, and by the time people started liking it, it was already gone from the market. So now, at that time, we never got a chance to drive the Getz diesel before buying it. We of course saw the Getz petrol, but it was, it did not have a good pickup, and of course it was a heavier car. It was a much safer car. At that time, it had a crash test of 4-star rating. But we never thought of going for a petrol Getz. But as soon as the diesel Getz was launched, we knew it. That's the car for us. I was heads and toes over this car, because I knew if Verna had so much of pickup, then just imagine a smaller car, a lighter car, a powerful engine. The power to weight ratio would have been incredible. So I had thought ये लेना है तो भैया ये लेना है. Now the next thing is how to convince my father. So the good thing about, the funny part about it is, everyone had the notion of diesel cars are slow and they give straight maybe. So that notion was there in the family that diesel is slow, but ठीक है, बच्चा चाहता है तो ले लेते हैं, कोई problem नहीं है. But petrol Getz was around 4.5 lakhs, and diesel was, they just launched it only in single model, that was GVS CRDI Getz. They launched it only in one model, and that was on road coming to 6 lakhs. And my father was like, yes, this is a small car. Why are we buying for 6 lakhs? We can easily go for a new Santro or a new Getz petrol for 4.5 lakhs. So it will be in our budget as well. So I was like, नहीं डैडी वही लेना है, बहुत अच्छा है, उसके बहुत अच्छे reviews हैं, ये है वो है. I of course didn't tell about the pickup and stuff, but anyway, so I did that, and now finally he agreed. Now coming to the funny part. So we went ahead and booked the car, and usi time, I mean, of course we had a long waiting time because it was not a common car to be found. So we had a long waiting time. It was around 1 month. So we said, fine, 1 month hai, we'll do the loan and stuff and everything. And of course, dad being dad, he wanted a public sector bank. We went to Punjab National Bank, and I was really disappointed. Like, it was a torture, I would say. I don't know अभी क्या हाल है Punjab National Bank का, but उस time पे तो, my God, we almost ended up visiting the bank for a simple car loan for more than at least 2 months. It took them 2 months to approve a single car loan, and that too when my father had he had FDs in the bank. He was a very loyal customer of that bank. Everything was perfect, and still they took 2 months to approve a loan. It was disastrous. Our car came, Hyundai guys were calling us, boss, sir, आपकी कार आ गई, आप ले जाओ, warehouse में पड़ी है, and we were like, यार loan नहीं हुआ. Anyway, final, and actually the funny part is 2 months का loan हो गया. sorry, loan नहीं हुआ. The bank manager was sick and tired, and he said कि since you are such a loyal customer, I would approve the loan on my behalf and disperse it. And once the final approval comes from regional office, ठीक है, देख लेंगे, अभी तक नहीं आया, आ जाएगा. And he dispersed the loan. We got the car, and finally, after a week, when we got the car home, the Punjab National Bank bank manager is calling us and saying, "Boss, आपका loan reject हो गया है." It was such a funny state. And if my father would have said कि नहीं, अब तो गाड़ी ले ली हमने, अब कुछ नहीं कर सकते, and that bank manager would have had a tough time. He would possibly have been suspended or whatever, because it was something that he took risk on his own job and then gave it. But of course, my dad was very nice, and he said that okay, no problem, you do one thing, जो भी loan amount, I think we took approximately a loan of 2 lakhs. So we said that okay, fine, we'll daddy का कोई FD था, so he broke it and he gave the loan back. So I'm just saying that this is how things used to work in 2008. And I mean, it was a tough time for guys who are going to public sector banks, thinking that let's stick to public banks and not private banks. That's I think that's the part where private sector really excelled at that time. Anyway, coming back to cars. So we got the car. It was a diesel engine. We didn't know much about diesel engine. क्या करना होता है उसमें, मतलब I was this was the first car with a turbo. So the diesel engine, the CRDI had a turbo. That's why it had the good pickup. So anyway, I was learning as we were driving it. As I was driving it, I was working. I thought I already read about it that diesel engines need a lot of running. You can't keep it idle for a week. It has to run at least 2,000 kilometers a month. And all those things I already read from Autocar और जो भी magazines में cars के बारे में discuss होता है. And so I started taking the car to office every day. So now I started taking the car out. It was around 50 kilometers going and coming. I used to stay in Delhi. Office was in Noida, and I was enjoying it. And also I heard that it should not cross a certain RPM because there is a run-in time and all those things. Anyway, वो सब हो गया, and I was very delighted. I never got to use the turbo spool for the turbo range till the time I covered 2,000 kilometers. So I was very 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 careful. मैंने कार बहुत प्यार से चलाया. 2,000 RPM के मैं ऊपर जाता ही नहीं था. I used to change the gear, upshift, the regular time. I was very very careful. And now the running time completed around a month or so. So now the time came to actually unleash the beast, and boy, it was a beast. And nobody knew in my family that it was such a rocket. It was called the road rocket, and I mean nobody knew it. And I never used to drive fast whenever family is around or inside the car. So I used to really enjoy it when I drove it. उस टाइम पे दिल्ली में इतने speed cameras नहीं होते थे, but anyway होते थे. And I used to get almost, I would say, महीने में एक चालान तो मेरा आता ही था, because D&D I used to use that express जो भी expressway था. एंड उसमें कभी ना कभी पुलिस वाले खड़े होते थे विद मैनुअल स्पीड कैमरा, जो आप वो पकड़ के, उस टाइम पे तो आई थिंक सूमो में बैठते थे, आजकल तो इनोवा में बैठते हैं. आई थिंक आजकल तो सारे ऑटोमेटेड हो गए हैं ऑलरेडी. सो एनीवे, द car was perfect. It was a road rocket. I had never experienced that acceleration and the acceleration that I felt. So it was a perfect car. Everything was going smooth. So now came the time that we had to move. So we were moving our house. We were going to another place in Delhi, and things were moving along. I loved the car, and I really enjoyed every time I drove it. I think I would say that till date it was one of the best cars I've driven till now. So at the end around we drove it, और basically डैड को तो मैं चलाने नहीं देता ज़्यादा, क्योंकि डैडी को जब भी जाना होता था तो I used to कहते हैं मैं ले जाऊँगा, मैं आपको ड्रॉप कर देता हूँ. I was so obsessed over that car. I used to wash it on my own. I used to drive it on my own. I never used to give it for service and forget about it. I used to stay in the service center. मैं कहीं जाता ही नहीं था, मतलब सर्विस सेंटर में अगर कार दे दिया तो I used to stay in the service center till the car was done. So that was the level of affection I had with that car. So बहुत मजा आया, बहुत मजा आया. I think I really enjoyed. I was at the time I was a young blood, we can say. I was approximately 2008 to 2012 we kept it. So I was around in my early 30s, early 20s. So in 25ish to 29ish, that was the time. So I really enjoyed it. I was a bachelor. I could drive anywhere. That was the time when I had road trips. I never knew that people go for road trips. My friends from college or my friends from my office, we went to Shimla, Chandigarh. I mean, I'm talking from Delhi. So we went to Jaipur, Udaipur. I am assuming Taj Mahal also, and Ahmedabad. We did a trip from Delhi to Ahmedabad. Me and my brother, we went non-stop, and we covered the distance in 14 hours, I believe. And उस time पे जो राजधानी जाती थी, that used to take around 14 hours. Just imagine. So it was a highway cruiser. It was good in cities. The gear shift was amazing. It was very soft. It had a perfect pickup for overtakes. It had a perfect cruising ability in the highways. मतलब आप you keep it in the fifth gear and you cruise on 100 kilometers per hour under 2000 RPM for the whole day. मतलब इतना अच्छा mileage भी मिलता था, and I think it was easily 15 plus with my heavy driving as well. And it was a complete car, I would say. It was a complete car. There was no regrets, no problems. So coming to the issues were there. No car is perfect. I would still say that. So उसमें क्या था? I mean, Hyundai being a very reliable car, I was shocked to see that the power steering. It had the power steering, but it was hydraulic. So there was the power steering fluid or whatever requirement was there, and that started leaking from under the steering wheel. So it was a big problem. Whenever I am going out, it used to leak on my shoes. It used to leak on my pant, socks, anywhere. I mean, drops with the smell. It was very irritating. So anyway, I took it to the Hyundai service center. I got it changed. It took the whole day because they had to open the dashboard or something. Anyway, बहुत time लिया, but I was thankful that same day काम हो गया. And I mean, they were good. Hyundai was really good since the start, I believe. Most of the dealers are very good. So that was the one issue that I remember, and the other thing that I remember was the tires were gone. And tires used to जल्दी घिस जाते थे टायर्स, क्योंकि obviously the car used to have an amazing pickup, and as soon as the car has a good pickup, it needs a good brake. But the brakes were it was a experiment by Hyundai. Nobody thought that there would be a person like Joe who would drive it like a maniac. And I used to drive it like really fast, even in cities, even inside the city boundaries. I mean, now of course I feel it was a mistake, but thankfully God saved me. कोई accident नहीं हुआ मेरा, touch wood. And so what happened was I used to like do fast pickup, and then I used to brake, and then I used to do a fast pickup, then I used to brake. So उससे क्या होता था कि जो brakes हैं कार के, they used to just wear out like hell. I remember, I think in 48,000 the total kilometers that we drove the car, भी नहीं बोलना चाहिए, I only drove it. पापा को तो ड्राइव अलाउड ही नहीं था, मैं अलाउ ही नहीं करता था, बट मे बी ही ड्रोव फॉर at least 1 or 2,000 kilometers बीच इधर उधर. So that complete time, 48,000 kilometers, में we changed the disc brakes or the brake shoes more than 3 times. Can you imagine? It was an average of around 12,000 kilometers. Every 12,000 kilometers, I used to change it. And then I realized कि boss मेरी गलती है. This is not the car's fault. So every time the disc got worn out, or not the disc but the brake shoe got worn out, I used to be like यार ये क्या है यार, अभी तो change कराया. But it was my driving style. It was bad. It was not healthy for the car. Anyway, so again learning from our mistakes. So finally, when of course we changed the brake shoes 3 times. So before the fourth time, we already sold the car. So we sold it to someone who was not in Delhi, who was from Punjab, I believe. So that guy was also very nice. He was from some Bank of Baroda or something. He was a staff there, and he was also a car enthusiast. So he knew the car. I mean, I tried my level best to sell the car, and there are multiple sites like Team PHP is one good site where you can put your classified ads, and OLX was there, I believe, and whatever car websites where you can sell the car, I put it across, but the response was very bad. I mean, I was expecting a price of around 3.6 lakhs, but no one was ready to give me around 3 lakhs. After using for 4 years only, the car was like not even a single scratch in the car. The tires were new, and tires ka ek alag kahani, I'll explain it later. And even though the car was less used and the car was having no scratches, but still everyone, whoever reached me for the car, was like 3 lakh is good, and ye wo falana chalana, whatever. So I was like adamant कि 3.6 तो मुझे बेचना ही है. But this guy, he came, he traveled from Punjab to Delhi just to see the car. He liked the car and he went back home and said कि प्लीज़ मेरे लिए आप थोड़ा सा कम कर दीजिए क्योंकि मैं पंजाब से आया हूँ और I really like the car. And of course, obviously, I mean, I also had a soft heart, as you all know, and I said, okay, fine, I'll be removing 20,000 for you. Let's finish the deal at 3.4 lakhs. So we did that, and he was very very nice guy. He met my father, and my father was also very happy that he's going to a person who is a reliable person. He's working in a government bank, and everything was good. And he was very punctual. He changed the car's registration on his own, no follow-ups, anything, and everything was good. So coming back to the tires were really worn out. I think the tires which came from company was Apollo Aptara or Apollo something anyway, and they were not good for the car because the cars they were not performance tires as such, and I mean it was उसने जवाब दे दिया बहुत जल्दी. I think around 37,000 36,000 में जवाब दे दिया. And now the time came to change the tires, and I was like searching for tires online or offline or wherever, friends everywhere. And then I found these tires. They were the best ever. And even now, I feel that part of why I really liked that car was because of these tires. They were so comfortable. They were so smooth that of course we also named the car Smoothie. That was another thing. So it was so smooth that we never used to feel any bumps or small cracks on the road. Of course, big bumps used to seep in, but small cracks, small undulations, nothing in the car. So I still remember the name of that tire. It was Yokohama. That was the tire, and they were like pin drop silence. Highways, you go to highways, the grip is awesome. When it rains, the grip is amazing. It is an amazing tire. I don't know if you guys have experienced it, but if you have not, I really believe you should go with Yokohama tires. Beat any car. Just try those soft tires for this one. I think soft rubber tires, and just try them out. They will make your car driving experience to the next level. So these were the main things. I mean, we kept the car for 4.5 years, 48,000 kilometers. The color was midnight gray. It was really nice. Because उसको regularly खींचता रहता था तो it was like even after 4.5 years people used to say आपने नई कार खरीदी क्या? So that was the way I used to maintain it. So anyway, I really miss the car, and if you guys are interested, if you think of buying a second car, I think it is still available in India. If you go for that car, आपको अभी भी वो 2.2 lakh 2.5 lakh में मिल जाएगी. And of course, it is well worth the money. If it is in good condition, just close your eyes and buy that car. It is an amazing product by Hyundai. Unfortunately, it didn't work in India, but all my recommendation would be go ahead. Don't even think about it twice. So that's all from my end. I have taken the feedback from every one of you, and I feel that you guys have been helping me a lot. Thank you for your support and your love. And
so that's all from me, guys, for today. I think I covered most of the aspects that I remembered about the car, Smoothie. It was a long time back, 2008, 2012. So I might have forgotten some good parts, but most of the things I have shared with you. I hope you like it, and stay tuned for the next car. It is going to be really interesting. Things are going to change very rapidly, and it has something new. Every car that we got, it had something new, something different. That was my whole idea. And I hope you've enjoyed through my journey of the cars that I've owned. So thank you, stay tuned, and please subscribe.